Hey Pyro, hey Anubis. I'm hanging in there. A little under the weather, but I'm okay. Hey Apple. Thanks for joining. Gonna be a very low-key and chill stream today. So today I'm going to be playing Dome Keeper, and part of the reason I'm playing Dome Keeper is the first game that I ever streamed on any platform was Dome Keeper, back when it was in early access, and I haven't really played since. But 2 days ago, they got a big update, a big expansion, and a lot of stuff has changed. And the very first time I ever played Dome Keeper, I did it, with some lo-fi music in the background, and just kind of chatted with everyone else. And I figured I'd do it again. Hey Drabo, how do you get into D&D? That is a complex question, actually. I think the first thing you probably should do is just read the player's handbook. You may have already done that. I don't know how deep you're trying to get in, but read the player's handbook, familiarize yourself with the rules, and then just find a local group that wants to, fool around and go for it. Could be online, could be in meat space, but start with one shots, simple stuff that you don't really have to worry about very much. Just low commitment, low overhead games, and then slowly work your way up to campaigns. And that's for playing. Getting into DMing is a whole other thing. Hey Sea Salt, thanks for joining. But yeah, I think for me, I got into D&D when back during Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and the thing that got me into it was I got into the rules, I genned characters. It was very, very nice, doing that. Liz, thanks for joining. And Liz has a point. Try out other systems. Like if you haven't ever played a role-playing game before, D&D is an okay place to start, but believe it or not, D&D is actually on the more complex end of games you could play right now. It's the thing everyone wants to play, but it has a lot of mechanical holdovers from an age when D&D was more of a war game. Lots and lots of systems exist right now that take D&D and minimize it to become way more accessible. Vagabond, for example, if you want the same sort of swords and sorcery system, is D&D, but a million times simpler while simultaneously giving you a million more options. So don't be afraid to reach out. And if there's a thing you like, find the system that does the thing you like. Like, everybody plays D&D because it's the thing that everybody plays, and I understand that. But everybody has something that they're really into, and the thing that keeps you role-playing is finding the system that does the thing that you're really into best. Like, I love mythology and anime bullshit, so I love Exalted. I love, the SCP wiki, and I love the back rooms and stuff like that. So I love Triangle Agency. And soon I'm going to be starting up a Wild Sea campaign. Because I love, like culture fucking and kind of like eco-punk stuff. And all of that would be handled by other systems better than D&D. So like just ask yourself, what story do you really want to play? And then go from there. And that might be, Tolkien-esque fantasy. At which point, D&D, more power to you. But if you're, an anime fan, if you're like a science fiction fan, if there's something that calls out to your heart, don't be afraid to try out something new, because it'll really, change things up. If you're looking for a game with great lore but allows you to create crazy scenarios, if it's fantasy you're looking for, I highly recommend Exalted. Exalted lore is dense and you could bite into it. Also, I will also recommend the Wild Sea, which is what we're playing right now. What me and Liz, Sea Salt, HA Ghoul, are all in a game together. The Wild Sea has this incredible lore to it about like a post-apocalyptic world where the environment won, where trees overtake the world, wildlife overtakes the world, technology doesn't work the way that it used to, and you like sail on huge chainsaw ships through the treetops, which work like an ocean. I love the Wild Sea. I love the world of the Wild Sea. I love the different like splats, the classes that you could play in the Wild Sea. And the Wild Sea has its own free virtual tabletop that makes it super easy to run and play. So if you're looking for, deep lore but craziness, I would really recommend the Wild Sea. Liz and Sea Salt can tell you a little bit about their characters in chat, so you could get an idea about how absolutely insane like the possibilities are. But that would be my recommendation. And granted, I am letting you know there is some bias because I have rampant ADHD and it's currently the thing, the thing that I'm really into. So, take that with a grain of salt or a spoon of sugar, whichever one you want. But I have been just addicted to reading the lore, coming up with scenarios, generating characters. It has been so cool. And also, hi BMJ, sorry, I was in the middle of a rant, but I needed to plug the Wild Sea as hard as I could. Oh, it's also worth noting, before we get started here, that you have ADHD, Asperger's, you don't know what you say. Well, you're among friends, because I also have that nice little. I mean, Asperger's has been sunset, so we don't say that anymore. But I have the TISM ADHD, as do a lot of my friends. So you're among friends. Honestly, just like I also would recommend getting into a system that ends up allowing you to do things a little bit more on vibes. You hearing Ransom coming up with YouTube videos? Yeah. I would suggest a role-playing system that exists a little bit more vibey, right? And by that I mean D&D is a very war game based system. It wants to be gritty, and it wants you to adhere to its rules, and so it's more about what you can't do than what you can. Whereas a system like the Wild Sea has a magic system, and the magic system is all based on words. You have these things called whispers, which are short words or phrases, and you could either invoke them or shout them. And so if you just had one called Fall, right? You could invoke it and make someone fall to their knees and paralyze them. Or you could shout it and make a big avalanche happen. That's my preferred example of how whispers work. And it's very vibey. It's like, if you could think of something that Fall would apply to, then go ahead and you can do it. Thanks for following, Lazy Photographer. Yeah, if you're a little worried about the kind of mechanical overload of systems, again, D&D, while perfect system, it's perfectly fine to play. It's definitely what the most people want to play. D&D is very crunch heavy, which is funny because it used to be considered crunch light. It used to be considered one of the lightest games out there, because there used to be like D100 systems that would get crunchier and crunchier and crunchier and crunchier. But now D&D is being a little bit more, now D&D is considered on the crunchy end, because there are a lot more elegant systems that have been developed to allow you to get into the role play easier, be a lot more enabling, really reinforce the storytelling, stuff like that. Foca Beatalina, sorry to bring this up, but thanks for being so supportive in the whole Avatar situation. No problem. I genuinely do not think that there is any problem with people watching the leaked Avatar movie. It's not a big deal. I think that you should if it's a thing you want to watch it. The idea, my whole politics revolves around whether or not you are making someone's material conditions better or worse, and you are not making anyone's material conditions worse by watching the leak. And for that matter, if you were, it would be Paramount, and Paramount screwed over the entire team that made the movie, so fuck them. Lazy Photographer, hello friend, I followed you, I took off for a while. Hey, thanks very much for stopping in. I try to stream every Wednesday night. The game always changes, but I'm just here to talk with people and have a good time, and yeah, I just like talking with the community, so hang out, have a good time. Your original Drabo, you originally found me due to Dr. Doom lore, but stayed due to my nonchalant attitude, so that type of lore is great, but I got interested in D&D by Legends of Evantris. I love Legends of Evantris. I fucking I think Legends of Evantris is one of the best D&D actual plays that exists, because first of all, it's very reminiscent of what an actual game looks like, and I am a sucker for Chuckles the Clown. I also love Bitsy. Bitsy is a fucking treasure, and I love everything about her. To the uninitiated, what's Dome Keeper? So Dome Keeper is a game in which you play one of several characters, and you land on a extraterrestrial planet, and there is a relic somewhere deep in the planet, right? And you have to excavate that relic before hordes of aliens end up destroying your dome. And you start and your dome is, not upgraded, and you dig very slowly. But as you get, as you mine stuff, you upgrade things, you get better weapons, You get to explore deeper into the depths, and it's kind of like this neat combination of like mining and tower defense. So it's a nice little chill game. Are there any good actual plays for non D&D games? I would recommend Dimension 20's latest actual play using the storyteller system in World of Darkness, City Council of Darkness. It looks fantastic, and of course, Brennan is doing a fantastic job with it. You could also find a lot of like indie systems run by Abria Iyengar. The Adventure Zone did a couple non D&D actual plays. There's a couple out there looking around. So I'm gonna start doing this with the engineer. Although my favorite is the Beastmaster right now. And we'll go on from there. And of course, for all of chat, feel free, to ask me questions as I play. I'm gonna be paying attention to chat more than anything else. Non-balance Adventure Zone mission. Let's go. Yeah, like there you go. Like there's a lot there. You're fond of Mace. Yeah, Mace is certainly a character. Mace did the whole, a fish isn't an animal thing, and I lost my shit. Cause I remember that being a major topic, like, on TikTok, because that what was it? That podcast, the one with fucking Joey and whoever it was, did the big, a fish isn't an animal fucking shtick. First time tuning in, my avatar is adorable. Thanks. So the backstory of my avatar actually is I work with a Chilean comic book artist, Oscar Cabrera. And he does, some, normal superhero comics, but he also does some like spicy comics. Everybody who draws art, eventually has to do something spicy. And he has this whole universe where basically people get mutated, right? And so this, spider avatar in a hoodie was the one that was a character that I made when I was just a fan of his universe. And there we go, iron, that's what I need. And I thought it was cool, it's a fan character, right? But then over the pandemic, things got a little rough for him, and he needed people who could localize things written in Spanish into English. And I was like, well, I could do that. And so now that's where a good portion of my money comes every month. And he's amazing. The team is amazing. And so he was like, I'll make this, spider, character canon. And now I use it to represent myself anywhere I am on the internet. I mean, I show my face, I'm not like a full-time PNG tuber, right? But I usually don't show my face when I do streams because it's just a lot. Like, I don't have a very good webcam. I don't have a particularly like enjoyable setting, like office setting for people to look at. So yeah, I just kind of, I kind of do it when I stream, and I like it. And maybe if people are into it, then I'll eventually come up with lore, Oh. I mean, there's lore in the comic book universe, but, like, I also don't want to just like ape that, you know what I mean? Or at least not without asking first. All right, I definitely need more drill strength. You're definitely gonna get some speed. Let's go from there. I'm telling you, Drabo, if you really like lore, like D&D is cool and all, but there are lots and lots and lots of games that have way more and way deeper lore than D&D. Triangle Agency has lore that sinks into real life. That's the whole point. Hey, son of a beach. Yeah, I try to go live every Wednesday night. Just kind of talk with people, hang out, play some games. I cannot recommend Triangle Agency enough, by the way. Like, it's not something that I would play over and over and over again, but my experience running Triangle Agency was an amazing experience. And honestly, like, if you're willing to commit to the bit, and by that I mean just do what the rules say, even if the rules seem a little weird, you will have such a good time. Like, it really does, like, push into your actual factual life in ways that other role-playing games don't. And if you like that meta bullshit, I can't recommend it enough. You never played a game with D&D lore, you and your friends homebrew heavily. I mean, that's kind of what I do. Or at least that's what I've always done with D&D. I mean, okay, hot take, because we're in the hot take area. I don't think Forgotten Realms lore is that great. Ooh, autocannon or suit blaster. I'm gonna go autocannon because I'm gonna forget that fucking aliens exist. Let's get this and the radars. Like Halo, COD Zombies, Undertale, FNAF, Sonic lore. Honestly, if you like Halo, you might want to look into sci-fi games. If you like COD Zombies, you might want to play Dread as a role-playing game, which is a horror survival role-playing game that uses Jenga as its mechanic, which is really neat. The whole resolution mechanic is shit. Need to get back to the surface. The whole resolution mechanic for Dread is you have to pull blocks in different ways depending on what you're doing, and if the tower falls, then your character is either grievously injured or dies. And it, like, really creates that, like, good tension that, like, a horror game needs. Forgotten Realms is bland as fuck. Yeah, I mean, like, I agree. Like, I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but I've never had a real fun time in the Forgotten Realms. The actual lore is just interesting, and it's too derivative and feels dispassionate. Yeah, I agree, Foka. So that's, like, luckily, it's very easy with D&D to homebrew your own stuff in. But at that point, like, one of the things that I really, like in my later, role-playing years, I guess I'll call them, right? Now that I'm kind of old hat at role-playing, one of the things that I've realized is, like, you could just play games with good lore, you could just play games where the lore is actually super interesting as opposed to homebrewing everything. And like, of course, there's always going to be some homebrew in it, right? But like, there's something magical about coming across a setting and you're like, oh, that's so cool. I really want to do something in this setting, you know? What type of music do I listen to? I'm polyjamorous. I do listen to a little bit of everything. And I don't say that just to be lazy. I literally have not found a music genre I don't like. Recently, I've been kind of in a prog rock era a little bit. Of course, whenever I'm hanging out, I'm just kind of jamming to this lo-fi, you know? We're working on it. We have a list of other systems we say we'll play after the campaign. What other systems are you thinking of trying out, Foka? Just out of curiosity. I even like country music. Yeah, I fuck with country music. Not, I don't fuck with a lot of pop country, but like, I was a big fan of Johnny Cash growing up, you know? Better drill or combat repair? I'll take the better drill. Oh. Let's increase my laser. Actually, no, you know what? Let's get drones. Hey, Grayson, thanks for stopping in. Look, everybody thinks that I hate country on principle because there's so much country that sucks, but there's so much that every genre that sucks. Yeah, Dolly Parton's great, right? You know, so like there's so much of every genre that sucks. Of course, fucking capitalism is going to take any art form and turn it into absolute dreck. So just because the most popular forms of country suck doesn't mean that country sucks. I actually, I have on my TikTok links page, I think, I linked to an anti-fascist bluegrass country band who I think are absolutely amazing. So yeah, like I fuck with country. I think they're called the Bootstrap Boys. Their hit single is "I'm Telling You Fascists, You're Gonna Lose." So yeah, I dig it. They're pretty good. We ended up becoming mutuals on TikTok, and I just, you know, I think it's pretty good shit. Random question, but your sister recently started a job working in forestry. This means she's outside doing physical labor all day, and every day she comes home really hungry and complains her lunch isn't enough food. What do y'all pack for lunches to make sure you're not hungry? There are lots and lots of pretty easily satiating foods that you can pack for lunch. I am a big fan of beef jerky because like that's just good protein. But honestly, beans, lots of fiber, lots of protein. That'll, you know, you could, and it's so easy to just make like a simple bean burrito. And I might be biased here because I make my own custom hot sauces, so of course I'm going to like things that I could put the hot sauces on. But I fuck with bean burritos so hard. Bean burritos might be the easiest, like, fucking, like, try nothing, do nothing, satiating meal that I make. Just take, black beans, like, put them in the burrito, put some cheese in there, put the sauce you like, you're done. Country folk and blues is all based on the same stuff, it was just marketed different. Yeah. I fuck with blues, too. I fuck with, like I said, I kind of fuck with everything. Oh. Okay, I need a better carrying capacity. Oh, nope, fuck. Aliens are attacking. Do bean salads a lot. I think the issue is that she needs more snacks. Let's see. Good snacks. You might want... I like dried edamame a lot. I also eat a lot of chicharrones. So those are pretty good. Let's see. Oh, seaweed snacks. Sea salt, absolutely, swears by seaweed snacks. I've already fucked up my mining network. Pay no attention. Fucking love seaweed snacks. You get like a bulk pack of them. But you could also jerk anything, really. I'm not gonna judge whose meat you jerk. You know what I mean? You can make chicken jerky, turkey jerky, fish jerky, salmon jerky. You know, jerk everything. Just get up in your kitchen, straight up jerk it. You have this album called Sinister Minds. It's kind of MJ inspired. It's about Sonic.exe, but it's a Michael Jackson album inspired by Sonic.exe. Honestly, that kicks ass. Sea Salt, record that down. You're my mod. Now I'll have to listen to that. Pickling is another fun thing. Yeah, I pickle a lot of shit. So every year I have a garden, right? Even, like, I live in an apartment right now, right? I don't live in a big house. But, like, I have a balcony on my apartment, so it's just filled with pots of soil that I am just using for gardening purposes. I'm growing peppers. I'm not growing cucumbers this year because the last time I grew cucumbers, I couldn't give them away fast enough. Hey, the Adam. Good afternoon. Yes, I do take Cash App to make TikToks. Although, honestly, the best way you could possibly support me is via Patreon, even if it's just $1 a month, you get to see the stuff that I do behind the scenes. You get to see upcoming long-form videos, stream recaps. You get to vote in polls, and you get a direct line to DM me and request videos and things I do. So, like, someone requested a honey garlic hot sauce, which was the last one I made. Someone requested that I review the anime 86, so I did a TikTok with that. So yeah, like even if it's just $1 a month, you know, Patreon is the best way to support me, because that is money that goes directly to me and doesn't go to any other platforms. But of course, anything you'd be willing to, you know, send my way would be great. Oh yeah, I had so much fun doing Rule 34. And then in my Discord, which, by the way, you get special roles and access in my Discord if you're on my Patreon. On my Discord, people started trying to outdo me, and they did. And one person got a streak of 44. So not only did they blow Giguk out of the water, they blew me out of the water. And now I'm intimidated. Now I have to, like, get to a point where it's like, okay, if I'm really gonna do this again, I need to I need to get 44 whole fucking guesses right. And that's insane. The Gooner knowledge goes deep, Harvel. Like, way deep. Like, we started, like creating a metagame. It was like, alright, here's the meta. You need to know that Pokemon has tons of tags because of how popular it is. But then you have to think about how popular is the individual Pokemon. Like, does this Pokemon have more people gooning to it than, like, this random Genshin character? That's a good question, right? It's hard to say. Gotta get up there. Aliens are attacking. Also, there were a lot of random surprises. Like, my run ended when I thought that absolutely Riku from Kingdom Hearts was going to have a ton of fucking posts. But barely had any. So, like, weird, right? There were a lot of, like, well, that's another rule that we figured out. Men always end up skewing lower than women on Rule 34. You can't imagine that there's much more out there about Geodude than any random Genshin character. You would be surprised. Geodude, I think, had 4,000-ish. And there are definitely Genshin characters that have less than 4,000-ish. I need more drones. People goon to Pokemon character? You have... Okay. Lazy photographer. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna find the game online, Rule 34, right? You're gonna play just a couple rounds until you see some Pokemon, right? And then you're going to gasp at how many posts Pokemon have. There's an unreasonable, I would say borderline unhealthy amount of people goon into Pokemon. Sorry it takes so long. Numenera, Fabula, Ultima, Shadowrunner, and the MLTV, TTRPG on the list. All good choices. I have played all of them, and they're pretty good. I think that porn is just more centered to the male gaze, and that's sad as a bi-man. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That would be why, like, males always skew lower than females on Rule 30 Portal. But the other weird thing about it is, like, it's not 100%. Sometimes some characters will take you out of nowhere. Like there are a lot of posts for Ronald McDonald, and honestly, I kind of want to know what is wrong with people. Like, you're not sure if you should be depressed or impressed that there's 4K posts out there for Geodude. Pokemon will always make you feel that way. And that's why you have to, like, they'll throw something like a Lola Mola at you, right? And you're like, is anyone really gooning to a Lola Mola? But then you're like, but I have to click the Pokemon. The Pokemon always win. It's tense as fuck. The game is called Rule 30 Fortale. So I think it's rule30fortale.vercel.app. You wonder how many people like Markiplier, but you don't want to look. God, I had Markiplier come up at one point. It's less than you think, which is sad because Markiplier is in fact an attractive man. I think the one thing that I've realized in Rule 30 Fortale is that lots of characters are done dirty. Cyclops, done ultra dirty. Scott Summers should have more posts. Ronald McDonald is a clown. Clowns are hot. Clowns can be hot, Liz. Clowns are not universally hot. Clowns can be hot. The idea of wanting to fuck the McDonald's clown is actually a little baffling to me. Patreon looks nice. Thanks. I try to, like, post at least once a week, if not more, just to keep people updated. Because I really do want to let people on the Patreon kind of, like, see sort of what I'm doing behind the scenes, what I'm going through. I keep them updated on things in my and Liz's life. Liz is my editor, by the way. And it's just, you know, I want to give back to the community. They get, you got to 2. A lazy photographer, what did you end on? But yeah, I want to give back to my community because Patreon is really what allows me to keep doing this. And, you know, you guys are really ultra generous, so thanks so much. Is a fellow from New Jersey as well. Why do you think we have no professional teams named after us? It's because of New York! New York steals everything cool in New Jersey. There's no reason why, you know, half of the New York teams shouldn't be New Jersey teams. I mean, I suppose we have the New Jersey Devils, which, like, cool, because if you're gonna name a sports team after something, name it after, you know, the fucking chill cryptid in the Pine Barrens, I suppose. Yeah, like, New York just steals everything cool from us. That's not fair. What if you draw Ronald McDonald like a twink? Then that's not Ronald. You have imposed twinkitude on Ronald. That's the thing. That is the allure of twinkitude. That is not the allure of Ronald McDonald. Thank you very much. I'll catch you later, Foka. Thanks for coming in. Like I said, I stream every Wednesday night, sometimes Saturday if I'm feeling up to it. Let's up my speed. Let's up... can't up my drill. Let's get a laser sight. You lost on Hekapoo from Stars versus the Force of the Evil. Fair enough. I lost on a Star versus Force of the Evil poll at one point. Eclipse of Butterfly, I ended up losing on. First of all, Ronald is already a twink. Did the definition of twink fucking change in my lifetime? Because when I think Ronald McDonald, the base Ronald McDonald, like advertising copy Ronald McDonald, I do not think twink. We got an upgrade. Nice. The other option was what looked like a Genshin character, so you figured it had to be the Genshin character. Genshin characters, Genshin people are horny, but they're never as horny as you think they are. And it's because there are so many Genshin characters, because it's a gacha game, that the pool is very, very diluted. Iron Worms or Teleporter? I'm gonna choose Iron Worms. Someone who is a spokesman for McDonald's cannot be a twink. I'm telling you! See, look, you guys get it. There is no way, shape or form, that Ronald McDonald can be considered a twink in his canon. Like, maybe Fanon Ronald McDonald is a twink, but Ronald McDonald in his ad copy form is not a twink. Not ever. Thanks for redeeming the hot sauce emote, Trabo. What? Fucking aliens, fucking aliens. Oh god, I'm dead. I'm gonna have to spend some resources on upping my defenses. They're next to me on RM. Oh, the Colonel from KFC. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's actually talk about this, right? Top 3 sexiest fast food mascots, right? I do agree with some dude. The Colonel from KFC, lot of porn. People want to fuck that old man. You lost it on Val? On Clickin' Val? Because that's going to make me sad. Like... Where the heck is iron? I need more iron for my fucking drill. Ah, yes, the maze emote, Travo. That came from my playthrough of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. We remembered the maze. Highly suggest Lorelei, by the way. Lorelei is a fantastic game, and I really think that everybody who has a chance should play it. Arby of Arby's is a mysterious figure in terms of looks. I have it on good authority. He has the meats. All right, that catapulted Arby's, the mysterious Arby, Uh, to one of my top 3. You tried again. You made it to 3. Lost on Alphys versus Ekapoo. How many people how are people gooning to Undertale characters? It's not a wordy game. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You have to, like, this is, I did this as a joke. Like, I started doing this on April Fools, but then I actually delved into it. I delved into the intersectionality of goonin, and, like, there's a lot of different motivation when it comes to why people end up making gooner art, right? Like, there were, oh yeah, fucking adult Wendy's, Liz, especially like when they do Wendy as a yandere, like as like a murderous character, like that's the whole reason I did FGC Wendy's back in the day. It was because I was into that sort of like Wendy's fan art. But yeah, there's a lot of different reasons why people draw goonin art, and usually they draw goonin art because there doesn't exist art, like goonin art for it already, right? So like at some points we would get like porn games, and those porn games would have absolutely nothing, absolutely no posts, and we would click them. We would be like, yeah, it's definitely this one, right? Nothing. And it's because they already did that. They all like there's enough gooner content because it was made to be gooner. So things like Undertale, which by the way, I'm sorry you had to find out, but things like Undertale will necessarily have more gooner content than a game that is specifically made for gooners. Which is fascinating when you think about it, right? Or at least I find it fascinating, because I find the intersectionality in all things fascinating. Now, here's the problem for the people who just got into Rule 30 Portal from me talking about it on this stream. It is an addictive game. Like, especially when you try to beat your friend's streaks. And you are going to find out some deep truths about humanity, as you said, that you are not ready to learn about. Like, there's some, like, not only was I absolutely stunned that Tony the Tiger had so many posts on Rule 34, but then I watched a YouTube video essay about it, and apparently it's this 20-year-long saga between fucking like furries and Kellogg's that like went between brands and ended up having competing cereal mascots try to sexify themselves. It's huge. It was a huge gooner war. There's so much history behind it. Like, an anthropologist can have a field day with goonin alone. It's crazy. Were people gooning to paintings and drawings before photographs? Yeah, they were. We have you don't think we have historical goonin photos? People drew people naked all the time. They're in fucking museums. It's just now when you like look at a painting in a museum and it's of a naked woman, we're like, ah, yes, it was so artistic. It you know, they captured the human form so well. And I'm like, dude, someone was gooning to that back in the day. You know that. Like, two things can be true. The artist could have been a visionary that captured the human form in ways that we had not yet seen, and also people were straight up gooning. Fertility statues were the first goonin art. Maybe. You know, it may be. There were probably cave paintings that people gooned to prior to fertility statues, but I would say fertility statues might be the earliest example of recorded Gunnar art. Like when you get into cave paintings, you're really getting into like prehistory. And that's, you know, then that gets a whole lot messier. You have to like wonder what was actually the purpose for this art, you know, what were people drawing it for? A lot of it is interpretive. But like there were, you know, there were hot pics of Cleopatra back in the day, you know. Kellogg's had to remove Tony the Tiger Twitters because everyone just replied with porn. Yes, they did. I actually used to run a leftist Canadian politics Discord with some online friends that are in the community with 3 years of them and only recently found out most of them were furries. Here's the rule of furries. Furries are actually everywhere. Like, I know we're like, oh, they're in IT, they're in whatever, but really, when it comes down to it, like, people like to stigmatize furries, but it turns out that if you were born anywhere from the 1980s to the early 2000s, you grew up in an era when mass marketing for children's cartoon characters was make them sexy. Like, we remember Lola Bunny, right? Lola Bunny was sexy. You're lying if you're saying otherwise, right? And they did that because they were trying to give something to the children's parents, like have something for the children's parents to look at. But as an unintended consequence, now furries are everywhere. And I think that only makes sense, to be completely honest. You could say some furry art is better than non-furry art. I mean, they're dedicated to their craft. Think about how much work has to go into making a fursuit, right? Now, like, I consider myself a furry, but I've never fursuited, and I probably would never fursuit. That's because, you know, my fursona, for all intents and purposes, is a spider, and there's not a whole lot of support for that. But, like, imagine everything you have to do to make it wearable, comfortable, articulated so that like the mouth parts move, you know, like it's insane. There's so much engineering that goes into making a fursuit, right? And like and so much money, like thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, furries are talented people. Imagine being the first man to draw Gunnar art and showing his friends changed the game. Yeah, no. There was one caveman that sent us on the path down this timeline. Like, that was like, Ugg drew tits. Look at Ugg drew tits. Tits good. Instead of weathering side time worms look into also showing the surrounding rock. Dome home. Let's let the worms dig. Blame Warner Brothers. They knew what they were doing when they put Bugs Bunny in drag. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, everybody in that era did kind of sexify every other character. And people just thought it was normal, right? Like, people just thought it was normal because, like, what else were they going to do, right? It was like, oh, okay, the kids aren't going to get this, and the parents are going to be horny for it. But the kids got it. Like... Another one that people were big into, Gadget from Rescue Rangers. But I mean, it, like, for her, it was it like I had a crush on her personality too. I like a good nerdy character. You only really found out that they were furries because you used to be a professional graphic designer and you have a degree in it, and one of them was trying to get into the industry and was asking me how to improve some of their skills, so I was trying to get them to draw things that would be a little more commercially valuable. And they pretty much told me the only thing they're interested in drawing is furry art. Fortunately, you can't put that in a professional portfolio. Not true, lazy photographer. Here's what you do. You take the furry shit that you normally draw, and then you backwards adapt it into a non-sexy form, and now you're just drawing cereal mascots. That's the tech. That's the big brain tech. You wonder how much Rule 34 Street Sharks there is? So here's the thing about Street Sharks. I am unsure if there is a lot of Rule 34 Street Sharks on Rule 34. But that's because Rule 34 is past the Street Sharks time. There was so much Street Sharks Bara content when the Street Sharks were coming out. Like, just so much big, muscly shark dudes fucking everywhere. So, like, it's a thing that existed in a period of time, but it may just be that people don't remember the Street Sharks now. It definitely, like, was more of a gay male gaze, thing. When it came to Rule 34, Street Sharks content. But again, I'm just not certain that people remember the IP now. You don't even really remember Street Sharks, not gonna lie. It's not, yeah, I mean, that's expected. They were, you know, another Ninja Turtles like in the age of Ninja Turtles. Blah, blah, mutagen, blah, blah, sharks. Blah, blah, you know, fucking teenagers that were into extreme sports. Blah, blah. You know? I also love Street Sharks. Unironically. I mean, I loved every animal mascot show back then. I remember Cowboys of Moo Mesa, and I am not ashamed of it. Double laser. Double laser, yeah. You really like this discussion because instead of woman hot or man hot, it's what caused the amount of people to enjoy something. Yeah, so, like, I feel like there's only so much you can say about, you know, oh, I find this character is hot. Like, cool, but, like, that's the end of the conversation. But examining the cultural impact that made people think that the character was hot has just this infinite depth of, like, anthropological curiosity to it. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, people are always like, you gotta be kidding. And I'm like, no, really. There's a lot that you could examine in how fucking cultures responded to the need and or want for the Goonin. Gargoyles was insane. I had the biggest crush on Demona. The biggest crush. And a tiny bit of a crush on Goliath, though honestly, his personality turned me off. But, like, Gargoyles was sexy. Like, they knew what they were doing. Thanks for following, Penguin Lover. There was also Battletoads and Bucky O'Hare. Yeah? Yep. Although I don't think I would not call Battletoads sexy. Then again, maybe I'll Rule 34 this and suddenly find out something about the human race. Maybe there are people out there gooning to the Battletoads that I don't know about. Need to get up. I do feel compelled to say that the relationship with these people did fall apart because you study Middle Eastern history in university. I was writing to people about Saddam Hussein. They thought I was staying with Osama bin Laden and got really upset about it. That sucks. That sucks. They were furries that also they were culturally insensitive furries. What sort of fucking fucked up awful pull on the humanity lottery do you have to pull to get that combination? Is cultural impact just the lore of us? Yeah. History is the plot. Cultural anthropology is the lore. And you'd be surprised at, like, how deep it gets, to be totally honest. Like, oh, yes, iron. I've needed iron for ages. Just with language, like, I'm sub to etymology nerd, and he's way better at explaining this stuff than I am, but like language alone can have so many weird, interesting evolutions of words that you that you have absolutely no idea where like the words originally came from. There is, in fact, an etymology dull. There's a lot of dulls out there. I enjoy the dulls. But there's an etymology dull where you try and guess where a word came from, why it evolved that way. I also find language fascinating. I unfortunately am American, which means that I am not fluent in another language. I know enough Spanish to help translate and localize it, but I don't know enough Spanish to like hold an active conversation. Did I know that so many phrases in slang come from sailors? Yeah, absolutely. Sailors and laborers. Working on learning Persian for like 3 years. I still struggle with the alphabet. My friend Liv could tell you stuff like that. Her mom it was trying to do the same. You want to know what the effect of capitalism on culture would be? So here's the thing. Not to get on my high horse, but as far as we understand it right now, capitalism has had a stagnating effect on culture. It's not that it's made all culture go away. That's impossible, right? But it's made culture revolve around things like earning money, like the workplace, like stuff like that. That a lot of the things that we have are kind of revolving around that. Though to be honest, the thing that is counteracting the stagnating effect of capitalism is social media, because social media, like, no matter what sort of social media it is, whether it's like Tumblr culture or like Twitter culture or TikTok culture, that makes culture evolve at such a huge rate that, like, it's hard to keep up. It's faster than it has ever evolved before. If you're nice to your wife that your mom came to be simply because it requires minimal effort for the infant to say. That's not a theory. That is a fact. We've done studies on that. Like, stuff like mama and papa are so ubiquitous among languages because they are easy sounds for babies to say. So, you hit the nail on the head with that one. Your partner is Iranian. He was born here, but he's doing a PhD in immunology. He doesn't have a ton of time to teach me. Yeah, my best friend and sister from another mister, Liv, is also Iranian. She has been awesome, and but doesn't speak the language, though, despite her mom wishing her to. Language is hard. Like, if I'm just gonna be completely honest, like, language is just hard. I tried a while back to learn Japanese because I am an weeb. And it, like, I got decently deep into it, but at the same time, like, I ran head first into kanji. It was difficult. Everyone makes fun of corporations for using memes. Well, that's sort of the thing, right? Like, the thing that makes a meme is that it is owned by the culture of the people who created it, right? Like, a meme is essentially an in-joke. So if you're part of the in-group that gets the joke, then it still becomes relevant. But as soon as someone in an out-group does the joke, it loses its cultural value. This was, we kind of documented this as the Family Guy effect. Like, as soon as Family Guy used a meme, it was no longer funny. There's this one woman that talked about Tumblr culture. Was it Sarah Z? I love her video essays. I also like Isix. I would recommend her too. What's mainstream popular culture is hard to define nowadays with so much media. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Now that social media has become such a huge part of our lives, mainstream doesn't really mean mainstream anymore. Mainstream kind of means not online, right? Because, like, if we're going by the numbers, right, the most popular form of media is video games. Like, video games make more money and generate more sales than movies, books, and music combined. But video games are still treated as kind of a tertiary art form. They're treated as something that is not mainstream because you still kind of have to consider yourself a gamer to talk about video game stuff, even though in reality, most people play video games of some sort. And if it's not, you know, video games on a console or something, then it's video games on their phone or video games on their computer or video games when they're slacking off at work or something like that. And even then, you have the ball and gun gamers who, you know, just play sports games and, you know, Call of Duty. And that is really interesting to think about, that the most popular form of media entertainment is also considered the least popular form of media entertainment. And that's just because there's this image of it as not a mainstream thing. The image of gaming as not mainstream has made the truth of it. It is, as you know, Liz says very often, hyper reality. It's not the fact that that video games aren't mainstream because they're not popular. They're not mainstream because we have constructed an identity about them that is not mainstream. And as a result, we like, that's what it is. Like the perception of what is real is more important than what is actually real. Algorithms divide everyone into boxes now. That's true. That's true. The funny thing, so like, you know how everyone on TikTok says like unalive instead of kill, or pew pew instead of gun? Like, we didn't really need to do that to begin with, right? But the algorithms that are being used right now are not looking for things like that. They're converting the entirety, the whole of your content. Oh, actually, I need to spend these resources. They're converting the whole of your content into a number. So it's not like it sees the word kill and then says, this is not going to be pushed to people. It's more like it sees what your thing is about on the whole, and then pushes it out to people who might vibe with that sort of content. And so, like, the way that, like, people think, you know, oh, you need to use the right hashtags, or oh, you need to say the right things, and so on and so forth. It's easier than ever to break into social media content because it's analyzed holistically now. And that is really big for creators. So, like, you Etymology Nerd did it. He did a stream where he was like, kill, gun, suicide, fuck, shit, piss, so on and so forth, and TikTok didn't care. You're spilling the secrets of the magic. Perception is reality. Well, yeah, that's the funny thing, right? Like, the more advanced we have become technologically, the more we have reinforced our old views of magic, right? Like, the hyper real as a thing in media is something that has only existed more recently. And we've reinforced that, you know? Like, that's like not to get, you know, over political, but I mean, I know you guys sometimes come here for the political goss, but that's why Trump is fucking immune to anything, right? Like, he will do things that no president has ever been able to get away with, like posting a picture of himself as Jesus, feuding with the Pope, you know? All this shit, he gets away with it because it's not the reality that matters to people, it's the hyper reality that matters to people. He's perceived as infallible, and so people, and that's actually how our brains work. We start from a premise, and then we work backwards from that premise to justify it. So if you already think that Trump is infallible, no amount of evidence is going to suddenly change that. Because you've already drank the Kool-Aid. You already think, you know, that that he can do no wrong. So, like, it's not really... Trump as a person isn't even really in the Oval Office. Trump as an icon is in the Oval Office. The idea of Trump is in the Oval Office. And the problem is, people suck and are fallible, but ideas can be whatever you want them to be. And that's kind of why we're in the shit situation that we're in right now. Yay! Happy discussion. This is a 100% safe community to say fuck Trump in. Oh, I have not upgraded my weapons enough. This is not feeling good. Let's upgrade weapons. Yeah, your life is falling apart because of Trump and you don't even live in America. Yeah, that's the crazy thing, right? Like, I couldn't have even predicted this. Like, a lot of people were predicting about what might have happened, but, like, actions were taken that straight up affected the entire world and will continue to affect the entire world for decades. Decades! Because when it comes down to it, civilization only exists because we work together. And when, you know, suddenly a world superpower decides we're not going to work together with anyone anymore, things start falling apart. And then if other world superpowers don't do anything about it, things continue to just fall apart. So not a great look. This is why when you stop to think about it, nothing feels real anymore. It's kind of like we're in the Matrix, but not the toxic dude bro story. Yeah, no, we kind of are. Like, every day, media essentially tells you to not trust your senses, which is really, really wild when you think about it, right? Like, we're getting gaslighted on the regular. And we just have to, every single day, be like, we trust our eyes, we trust our eyes, we trust our eyes. We don't trust Big Brother, we trust our eyes. You know? And that takes its toll on people, if I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, having to doubt your own reality on a day-to-day basis is absurd, you know? But things falling apart benefits shareholders. I mean, yeah, like, well, so here's the thing. The shareholders don't have good consideration for the future. What they want is short-term goals and only short-term goals. And as a result of that, they will milk any resource they have dry until eventually it comes back to bite them. And then when it comes back to bite them, they'll sell whatever they have, trying to make a quick buck. And, you know, repeat the process all over again. The only way that you combat it is by building community. Because when you have a community that looks after each other, then you won't be as vulnerable to big corporations that will try to exploit that community. That's part of why I do what I do. That's part of why I always try to give to my local community if I can. That's part of when my friends, you know, or my loved ones have financial troubles. I try to donate to them if I can. I give my space to people who need homes, you know. It's because we're the only people that we got, you know. Um, like, and if we're the only people that we got, then honestly, you know, we are our best safety net. So I really try to push, like, against the major motivating tides of culture that try to isolate us. Man, this has become a deep stream for fucking Dome Keeper. But like everything in modern civilization tries to isolate us and say, no, you have to be hyper independent. And that's bullshit. Yes, Suit Blaster. Love Suit Blaster. Fuck that shit, you know? Rely on people, care about people, you know? You didn't mention it. One of those songs from the album you mentioned is about a trans girl, and the song was created by 2 trans creators. Fuck yes. We love seeing more trans creators in media. Speaking of trans creators, man, I feel bad for Gooseworks. The Amazing Digital Circus fucking fan base has treated her like shit. I have no idea what makes them think that this reaction to their cool thing being in theaters is acceptable. It's insane. It's fucking sane. Do you think social media destroyed niche interest websites like Newgrounds and others? To a certain extent, social media did. But the biggest thing that destroyed them was that there is an active push against third places, even if those third places are online, right? And for those of you who don't know, third places are things that are not your home or your work, right? And anything that exists as a third place, that's good. I got exactly the upgrades I needed. Anything that exists as a third place that has a possibility of building community will eventually die in a capitalist system because it, by its nature, does not uphold the structure of capital. A park is not going to make anyone any money. But it's important that we have parks. But because it's not, going to make anyone money, we're going to see that we have fewer parks, right? So online third spaces are spaces that you can go online to exist in a social environment that don't have to do with your home life, your work life, or world events. There are places where you could just do stuff. And so far, the online third spaces that have survived have been attached to capital. Like, it's no big secret why, Twitch and Discord are so big, right? They're connected to gaming, which, as I said before, currently is the most profitable form of entertainment in the world, So since gaming is the most profitable form of entertainment in the world, having a third space that's structured around it makes a lot of money, and if it makes a lot of money, then it continues to survive. But, we see Twitch, thrive more than Newgrounds. We see Twitch thrive more than meat space places to hang out and game, like locals, to get these resources back before they get eaten. As someone who got spoiled for Deltarune Chapter 3, which took 2 years of waiting, you got over it? Yeah, that's the thing. Look, I do my best to try to meet people where they're at. I want to I genuinely want to believe that people will be able to understand where other people are coming from as long as you relate your experience to them, right? So I know that I don't care about spoilers. That has been the case my entire life. But at the same time, so when people say they do care about spoilers, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to impose my will on you. I respect that. But I also see people acting like total asshats over it, like as if it's going to ruin their life if they ever get exposed to any spoiler whatsoever. And my actual feeling about that is, come on, guys. Like, it doesn't matter that much. Like, it certainly doesn't matter enough to harass someone over it. Like, that's kind of where I'm, I'm coming from. And so when these big stories, crack, and they're like, oh, fucking the creators of the Amazing Digital Circus are being harassed by their own fan base because they got into theaters, I'm like, this is horrible fucking behavior. Like it's not worth it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You get one or two things spoiled for you, and then you have to wait a week. Wait a week. It's not a huge deal. Well, shit, aliens are coming. It's also a matter of bandwidth being expensive, modern popular apps being high bandwidth. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, the problem is that any social media website is necessarily going to be owned by a giant evil corporation, because they have the resources to make websites work. You gotta take personal responsibility at some point, get off social media if it means that's that much, that's what you do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, in response to me telling the fan base of the Amazing Digital Circus, and I'm saying this as someone who adores the Amazing Digital Circus. I think it is so cool. Everybody read Harlan Ellison's I Have No Mouth and I Must Screen, and then play the point-and-click adventure game. It's fantastic. But as someone who is a actual fan of the Amazing Digital Circus, people are like, I can't just get off Twitter for 2 weeks, and I'm like, yes, you can. And they get upset when I say that, but, like, it's the truth. Like, I understand that, like, they don't want to, but, like, I'm not the one who's saying this is the most important thing in the world to me. They are. They're saying that this will be ruined if they get exposed to it, right? And so, like, if that's the case, do what you need to do to not be exposed to it. Like, do I think people should be careful about spoilers? Sure. Which one is the one where the creator reads it? Of I Have No Mouth and I Must Screen. Harlan Ellison voice acts in the video game. Okay, this is going to lead us to the relic somewhere here. See, that's the fun. You don't have social media. You just have TikTok, and that's for doom scrolling. That's the funny thing, really. For someone who is a TikTok creator, I try to limit my exposure to doom scrolling on TikTok. Because when it comes down to it, I know it's bad for me. Like, I know it will make me sad. I know that it will make me become obsessive, and it will make me a more depressed person, right? So I actually use TikTok Studio a lot so that I could upload without seeing TikToks. But then there's the issue of comments, and comments, boy, do comments get stupid and inflammatory. Everyone on the fucking internet wants to pick a fight. Also in memes, the audiobook voiced by Harlan. Yeah, I actually have not read that one, so that's still on my list. Seasalt, I hate to break it to you, but Reddit and YouTube are absolutely social media. Like, they follow the formula. How could you not buy that YouTube is social media? You post shit, there are shorts, there are comments, there's liking and subscribing. It's clearly social media. Or at least in my opinion it is. What is my favorite fighting game archetype to play? Grapplers, baby! I want to do half your health in one throw. I want to make you guess a 50-50 and then regret ever having played the game. Do I consider it doom scrolling if the content itself is not doom and gloom, but you're doing it to cope? I mean, I guess you could call that hope scrolling, but the problem is hope scrolling can very easily turn into doom scrolling, so you gotta be careful. Charge. You haven't used traditional social media, but YouTube is definitely a form of it, even if you don't post anything. Yeah. Paramount is really out here fumbling too. Yeah. No, it's true. Everyone is angry at Paramount at this point. All they had to do was stay the course, you know? When TikTok becomes too loud, there's too much discourse and infighting. That's your time to leave. Yeah, I get it. I mean, like I said, with me, I need to leave at times too. Some of the takes that I see on TikTok are insane. Like, and at this point, insane has lost all meaning, but like, it's just like to the extent where I'm like, how does anyone actually feel this way? Social media to you is something that prioritizes short form content and encourages you to scroll. YouTube does that. That's what YouTube Shorts is. And before YouTube Shorts, they gave bonuses for like short videos. Like, that's why the Game Grumps used to upload in 10-minute batches. It's only recently that that's changed, that now YouTube is all about the long game. All about like several hour videos, like massive video essays. You have a creator who talks about games called Hey Peter. Yeah, fucking, I love Hey Peter. I follow Hey Peter, and you should absolutely follow him. He's great. And yes, BlazBlue is so fucked up. Great fighting game, great core mechanics, but its story is pants on head stupid, and I love every second of it. People struggle so much to stay off Twitter for 2 weeks because of it as a coping mechanism. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So remember when it was said that television was the opiate of the masses? Television definitely isn't the opiate of the masses anymore. It's social media. Social media is the opiate of the masses. Social media is the only thing we have that provides connection. Again, due to the aforementioned lack of third spaces. And so people use it to keep themselves sane. And while I am sympathetic to that, I also think you have to be cognizant of when it becomes a problem. And I'm saying this as someone who makes their money off of social media, right? Like, I post things and I try to, be entertaining, and I try to make my community safe for as many people as possible. But man, like, people come in and they want to start trouble, and I do my best to moderate it, but sometimes it just gets hard. Like, it just gets hard to deal with the constant negativity. And not just the constant negativity, but people who are so confidently wrong. Like, I feel a little bad for blowing up that guy who was like, this took place in Canada, right? About the warehouse fires. Hey, this is Fox. A guy was like, man, like, we were talking about, I was talking about why I am generally in support of the guy who lit the warehouse fires. And people were trying to argue about the harm it was doing to the other workers. And of course I had a response. And some guy responded, oh, well, this happened in Canada, so it's not going to work out that way. First of all, Canada also has unemployment, right? Second of all, it didn't happen in Canada. It happened in California. And now I know Ontario CA and Ontario CA, because they're abbreviated the same way, might be confusing, but at the same time, like, it took no effort to double check that. And I guess I'm really a little jaded that people never check their work. Like, I think people can... Actually, we're up to 12 at this point. So, yeah, it's way more than 9. But yeah, like I always check my info before I say something, and I can't be 100% accurate, but I do my best, and that's about all I could hope for. But like, people don't even try to check their shit, and I do kind of feel like if you're going to post misinformation, that you should take some responsibility for it. Because people will say that. People will like this takes place in Canada, and people will just believe that wholeheartedly, and have, and they won't question it, and it will cause huge arguments, and it will spread misinformation. Here's gonna be my mining time lapse as we talk. But and I just I don't have time for it, man. Like, just double check your facts. Like, I know that online communities have really created this situation where it's become the norm to not fact check yourself. I think that's stupid. I think anything that's worth doing is worth doing accurately. And so I think that people should at least try to fact check themselves, even if all they're doing is just posting a comment online, you know? Paper Mario did no wrong. Yeah, no, it's honestly, like, you love to see it, in my opinion. I think that, like I said, my opinion would be a lot different if there were casualties or injuries. But there were not casualties and there were not injuries, which means that the only thing that happened, the only thing that hurt, was the bottom line. And when capitalists care about the bottom line, and the only thing, you know, like, when the only thing capitalists care about is the bottom line, and then you hit them there, then you've made an impact, you know? The thing I noticed when you're in an online community is you have to actively work hard, really, not to create an echo chamber, because the thing that made my online community fall apart was becoming an echo chamber of people just agreeing with the same wrong information over and over again. I mean, I agree. Like, it's easy to become an echo chamber, but also, like, here's the thing. People often use the term echo chamber to excuse pretty heinous shit, right? Like, all things considered, people will come in and be like, you're in such an echo chamber because people agree with you, but then they want to expose you to some blatantly racist motherfucking shit. And that's not cool. You know, you gotta have the confidence to be able to be exposed to other points of view, and then also understand when your point of view is still a point of view worth having. You know? Environmental damage, though, and likely no bottom line damage due to insurance. There is bottom line damage due to insurance, and this is why. I know a lot of people in the insurance business. There have been several insurance adjusters who have been posting on TikTok talking about this. Insurance companies do not have over $600 million in money that they could just drop. Insurance companies are in the business of not paying out. That's their business. So this is going to hurt that company for months to years. Just legal tape binding them up. And that's huge. That's going to send a message to shareholders. And as far as the environmental damage goes, we do more environmental damage literally every day. Like, fires, you know, they release smoke into the atmosphere, but we do a lot more than that with cars, bud. We do a lot more than that with industrial manufacturing. Toilet paper burns relatively clean. You know, this is out of nowhere, but you have a question about Doom to lighten the mood. How would it feel if he was put in the world of Sonic.exe? So here's the thing. Sonic.exe is your pretty standard creepypasta, right? Where, you know, there's a possessed video game, there's like a demon god entity, you know, so on and so forth. Dr. Doom beats up the devil on the regular. You know, like... You know, like... Dr. Doom beats up Mephisto in his spare time. There's nothing Dr. Doom likes more than beating the absolute bricks off of some extraplanar deity. So I think he would probably just punch Sonic.exe in the face. Fair, but won't that rise insurance costs to unrelated people like extra inflation? Here, let me change to my just chatting view. Hey, look at that. So here's the thing. The insurance costs for the company are going to be paid for by the company, right? It's not going to trickle down to the worker in any way other than lower wages, and they were already being paid the minimum. So that's the thing. Lawton Adams, 5 eyes, though 3 usually blink. But thank you. Thank you for liking the character model I have. So the damage is going to there's insurance, but insurance is handled by an insurance company, and an insurance company has basically a store of money that they use to handle claims. They're not gonna want to handle this claim. They're going to fight tooth and nail, which is going to hang up the money that this warehouse company has, right? And they're going to have to spend that money, which will end up affecting their profits. Now, you might say, well, if they're not making profits, then they're not going to pay people, right? Well, that's the issue. They're already not paying people. Profits do not correlate to bigger wages. In fact, that's what this action was taken against. Despite the fact that these companies are making record profits, they're cutting wages down to the bare minimum. So there's really not any lower that you can drop at that point. Like once you hit minimum wage, you can't drop further than minimum wage legally, right? So like that's kind of why this happens, right? Like the guy who lit the fire said, I just, if they only needed to pay us enough to live, they only needed to pay us enough to live if only they paid us enough to live, right? They're already not getting paid. They've already hit the floor. And this is something that we've seen in history time again, that when you hit a floor and there's nothing left for you to lose, then people end up acting out. Like, the reason why the, this will affect other workers argument doesn't work here is because the other workers were already at the bottom. There's no further left to fall. Like, and if there's no further left to, then that's what motivated this act of vandalism. If there's no further left to fall, then you stand to lose nothing. And that's exactly why he's pleading not guilty, despite the fact that he filmed himself doing it. Because he doesn't think anyone's going to convict him. And honestly, he might be right. Apologies, you're not American. You don't know the whole story when it comes to the warehouse. But was it one guy that started a warehouse fire that got out of control? Or is it many people starting warehouse fires? So here's the story. There was a toilet paper warehouse in Ontario, California. Not Ontario, Canada, or Ontario, California. I know there's some, confusion there, but yeah. They were underpaying their workers, right? One person, a 29-year-old dude, filmed it and basically was like, if you're not going to pay us a living wage, right? If you're not going to pay us a wage that allows us to survive, at least pay us a wage that makes it so that we don't do this. And then he lit the toilet paper on fire. As a result, there's going to end up being, the warehouse burnt down. No injuries, no fatalities. And in that time, 12 other warehouse fires were started. And it's making an impact. And so now people are like, oh, should you be doing this? Should you not be doing this? The Core H is saying that there's this long chain of insurance and reinsurance all the way up to the bailouts. You're right, but that only applies to things like banks. Like, banks get government bailhouses. Warehouses don't. The government is not going to bail out shipping companies. The warehouses, the government already has left a lot of American warehouse businesses in the lurch with their tariffs. So like when it comes down to it, it's not like they're insulated. That's actually why this is hitting the bottom line when normally it wouldn't, because this isn't something that the government cares about enough to bail out. But it is something that billionaires have a big stake in, you know? So the government isn't going to print money to bail out warehouses. So the warehouses are going to have to saddle those fees as they fight with insurance companies. And when they fight with insurance companies, they're going to end up being out of business. So that's not going to raise inflation. Many things are going to raise inflation. The Iran war is going to raise inflation. Closing the Strait of Hormuz is going to raise inflation. Lots and lots of things are going to raise inflation, and it's going to suck, but it's not going to be warehouse fires. And here's the cool thing. Even though we're at like 12 warehouse fires, we are at way more non-fire related vandalism, because one of the coolest things that I saw was happening, and I'm sure Twitch is going to get angry at me with this. One of the coolest things I think is happening is that in protest, now people are doing this thing. They're buying insulating foam, and they're shooting that insulating foam into toilets, right? And the reason why that's important is because the insulating foam gets flushed down the toilet in a liquid form, goes into the piping system, and then expands, right? And the pipes in these piping systems are ancient, and they're inside the concrete. And to get it fixed, you need to like tear up the whole foundation of your building. So it's one of the worst things you can do, but to be OSHA compliant, to be a place where you could run business, you have to be able to, you know, have a piping system that works. So Walmarts are starting to close down because people are injecting insulating foam into their toilets, which are making them renovate their entire piping system, which is, again, costing the CEOs money. So we're just at a point where people are fed up, and they're, you know, responding with vandalism. But vandalism is not violence. Unless it, you know, ends up actually costing someone their life, you know, at which point then the whole moral calculus changes. But in this string of vandalism, which has had no fatalities and no casualties, the only people who are being affected are the rich corporate investors, right? Over 50% of pandemic-era inflation was corporate greed. Yeah, and here's the thing. The inflation that we're having now due to the Iran war, that's not going to go down, you know, if and when the war stops, because they've already been charging you that much, you know? So, sorry, I just need to take a drink. So, yeah, like, and that's the thing. Papa Paul, you nailed it on the head. Corporate greed is violence when it harms people by not paying them a livable wage, prevents them from eating, prevents them from getting health care, prevents them from living a dignified life. Lighting a building on fire is not violence. You can't be violent toward a piece of infrastructure, you know? Like, you could be violent to another person, but you can't be violent to an infrastructure, you know? So, like, don't get me wrong, for legal reasons, I'm not telling anyone to head out there and, you know, start lighting fires, right? I would never say that. But I understand it. This is a well-studied cultural symptom of what happens when people are forced into a corner and have no other option, you know? Like, people, we know the motivation because dude filmed it, right? He filmed it. He said, the reason why I'm doing this is because not only did you not pay me enough to live, you also didn't pay me enough to not light your shit on fire. And so shit was lit on fire. Hence the Les Mis song. You know, do you hear the people sing the song of angry men? You know? The struggle is real here too, but I feel like we're living a whole different class of problems. I mean, like, I would not minimize anybody's struggle. It's just struggles are different, you know, everywhere from world to world, because systems are different. The shit that billionaires get away with in America has gone so far that we are just at this extreme level, you know? Like, and it sucks, and I don't like it, but it is what it is. We handle it as it comes, you know? We take a little inspiration from the French more often. Yeah, well, I mean, that's eat the rich, right? Like, I don't want to toot my own horn. I make mistakes, right? I often give to my community past my actual ability to. And that's because I grew up Italian, which meant I had that Catholic guilt. So, you know, my guilt reflex is off the fucking charts, and I feel like if I'm not giving away every fucking cent that I can, I'm gonna die. And then I realize that I give away every cent that I can, and then I'm gonna die because I don't have money for food. So that's stupid of me, but you know, that's shit for my therapist to unpack. Yeah, I don't think people should do the stupid thing I'm doing. However, I do feel like if everybody just gave a little bit, the world would be so much better, right? Like, oh God, the MAGA Catholics are wild. Like, if everybody, like, gave, yeah, deep shit on stream tonight, I know, Liz. But this is what fucking Dome Keeper does to us. You know? But like, if nearly everyone in the world can spare $1, right? And like sparing $1, like when you think about how many people there are in America, like fucking, you know, hundreds of millions of people, that makes a huge difference. And it would only take everyone giving $1, but it's the everyone that's the hard part. Speaking of this, the Italian consumer rights group successfully suing Netflix for illegal price hikes and compensation. Fuck yeah. Netflix has been getting their ass beat recently, and I am here living for it. It has been such a good time, because like fucking, you know, Netflix can do better, and they know they could do better. And honestly, I'm not gonna shed a tear for Netflix until they give us episode 2 of fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run. They released a single episode and said the next episode was coming in fucking October. What kind of bullshit is that? Sorry, I'm getting passionate about this. This is the worst anime fucking release schedule that has ever been, you know, happened. Yeah, they didn't say anything at first. They just fucking released an episode, no opening, fucking dropped it out of nowhere, and then we were like, okay, next week, where's episode 2? And then eventually they were like, we are going to be doing it in spurts, which means that the next stage is going to be in the fall. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, listen, I think fan entitlement is out of control, but I don't think it's entitlement to believe that when you drop an episode 1, you then drop an episode 2. I don't think that's entitlement. And if that is entitlement, maybe I'm just a little bit entitled. You know, maybe I think I'm entitled to an episode 2. I feel like maybe I should, like, turn this to my ranting fucking face. Like, Yeah, just saying, all right? If you're gonna drop episode 1 of Steel Ball Run, then you better fucking drop episode 2 of Steel Ball Run. Like, or at least, at least within a month? Or at least within a season? Why the hell would you release one episode and then tell us to wait until the end of the year? That makes no fucking sense. Oh, I'm so angry. Anyway, when's fucking Deltarune? Yeah, maybe explain what you're doing. That's the thing. Like, if they told us that would happen... Is this VideoTube or some advanced rig thing? The mouse seems too complex for VT. This is a program called Honk. Let me chill out. Let me chill out. Let me chill out. I'm just taking a breath. Taking a breath. Okay. So this is a program called Honk. And the way that Honk works is that it takes images, just drawn images, and converts them into a PNG tuber. And what it does is it asks you for images for your mouth shape, right? And you could either draw entirely different pictures for your mouth shape, or you can just draw the mouth and have the mouth move independently. But it has a guideline, and it's like when you're saying E, your mouth looks like this, and when you're saying Ah, your mouth looks like this, and when you're saying S, your mouth looks like this. And you upload all those pictures, right? And then it takes input from your microphone to determine what you're saying, what sounds you're saying, and then it makes the correct lips portray on your VTuber model when you're speaking. So it is a pretty advanced thing that is also very, very easy as long as you are willing to get someone to draw the many different mouth positions. And you could program in a lot of different poses, and you could also make the eyes move, although I don't have that activated on my model. And if you really want to go into it, you can do stuff like make each limb be articulated, which is super cool. But I did not have the money for that because, believe it or not, I don't make, the most money in the world. So I had my friend Dante draw this, pitched him a couple $100. And then I got this thing. I highly suggest looking into Honk if you want to do VTuber shit. I do hope that Liz eventually joins me in becoming a Honk tuber with her model as well. But yeah, it was a good time. If you want to look it up, the program is free. Honk is free. You could get it off of Honk, Honk. But yeah, it is free. You could get it off of itch.io. And yeah, it's a very easy way to get a PNG tuber that's very expressive and follows your mouth movements basically perfectly, because it's using your audio input to do the mouth movements. Hope my living situation is getting better now. My living situation is getting better. The floors have been replaced. Right now, we need to do something about the holes in the walls that resulted from the floors getting replaced, but the landlord is dragging their feet. So it is what it is. You have an image of your character, but it has background art. What would you do? Just remove the background. You could do that with Canva or with Adobe Online. Just Google background remover. Make that, you could put it into an online program, which will remove the background. And there you go. Also, he doesn't have a mouth, so then that's even easier, because then you don't have to upload any mouth pictures whatsoever. You could just make him shake. Like, my character model shakes up and down when they're talking, or when I'm ranting, they shake a lot. Gotta get a computer first. We'll get you a computer, Liz. Honk also runs off a tablet, but we'll get you a computer. But yeah. So highly suggest it. A lot of people, use more complex programs. A lot of people use VC Face and Virtual Studio and stuff like that. This is a lot simpler for a much cooler effect, and I like the 2D look. Maybe one day I'll get like a bigger model, but right now this is about it, But anyway, that's my time for the night. Again, thank you guys for joining me, as always. You can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, on Blue Sky, although I don't post there very much anymore. Everywhere things are at My Life as an RPG. If you enjoy this, please consider either subbing to the Twitch or subbing to my Patreon, which is the best way to support me. I try to stream every Wednesday night and occasionally on Saturdays, and also whenever the fuck I feel like it, because I am a disorganized mess. You guys were an absolutely great audience. I loved talking with you and playing some Dome Keeper, and I would love to have these deep conversations more. So, keep coming back, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.